Good morning. Good morning. It is a beautiful, peaceful morning, so I thought I'd do my next video that I was gonna do on the book Unbound, I believe, about the way that I turned my energy from hiding and making myself smaller and giving off an unbalanced energy to being able to project my energy, be able to express myself and focus on the external rather than feeling insecure, judged, overthinking about like everything that I was doing in the moment. And so this was a life-changing thing for me because I really struggled. I literally remember the first time that I was, and I'm from Wisconsin, so I was in a Walmart in Wisconsin, and I think I was like getting to that age, like 13, something like that, and this group of males were like talking together, like giving off this energy. They were speaking in Spanish, so I don't know what they were saying, but they were giving off this energy, and like I was perceptive as a child of like being attracted to me and talking about me and like pointing and like making like snide comment remarks, like just that gross energy that any woman who's watching this knows what I'm talking about. And I remember the first time that I felt that, and I felt my whole entire body like go numb. Like I just felt like I was like kind of on vibrate, kind of numb, and I just felt so much like hiding myself. Like I've never been one for attention anyway, but like it is bringing something up in me. I'll address that. I feel bad for that version of myself because that happened multiple times where, you know, people would direct that energy toward me and I just tried to shut it out because it just was so uncomfortable and I didn't know how to handle it or explain it to anyone. I didn't feel understood where I came from, that I was like even perceptive of that energy, or like I didn't want to seem like, I don't know, like I was even being like, oh, like they're attracted to me, like almost like conceited or something. Like there were so many levels to it, and so I just never told anyone that that's how I was feeling, and I just continued to make myself smaller and smaller and try to disappear and try to not look at people so that I didn't have to take in that energy. Because as I got older, I realized that if I just didn't look at people, like eyes are huge for me. I feel people's energy through their eyes. Like when someone has long eye contact with me, I can feel that they're like either draining my energy, matching it, or giving me energy. And like I turned that off, and in that I turned off my intuition and my emotions. And so I was no longer like looking at people, because when I made that eye contact, I could feel the energy, and I didn't know how to protect myself, and I didn't know how to change the way that I was taking in the energy or how to direct my energy out, which comes to why I'm talking about this book. I started to play around with that. And so like, for example, the first experiment that I did was going to a grocery store, because that is just the mishmash of people. Like you don't have any control who you interact with or like see or bump into, have an interaction with at the grocery store. So I tried it at the grocery store. I went to a Kroger, and it was one that I like feel is nice. Like I usually have good experiences there, but I was just going to get groceries. I didn't go to like do this experiment. But I was like, let me try to put my energy out, because I was just listening to, it was the audiobook, and she was talking about how she's coming from like being a professional dominatrix, and how you, instead of like taking people's energy in, or like, for example, allowing a question to put the energy back on, the focus back on you, you direct it back. And so instead of answering a question, you ask a question. And so it was stuff like that where I was like, let me just play around with this and see how it feels. They're like cutting down trees, so sorry if it gets kind of loud. But I was just like walking through the grocery store, and every person that I saw or made eye contact with, instead of taking in the energy and directing it back onto myself, which I think would be like a habit or of insecurity, like where I just feel like I need to make myself smaller, or I need to, like, for no reason, like, I mean, no reason, but it's a habit that I learned that now I do compulsively. So for no reason, turn the energy back on myself. And instead I directed my energy out. I was almost like opening my heart, like being more open to connecting with people, which I was not comfortable with before. And so, you know, people would walk by me and I'd look them in the eye and smile, or just like kind of do like the nod, and like, but what was happening internally was what was changing me, because I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel like avoidant. And being avoidant, I realized, also drains my own energy. All the things that I try to avoid, all the things that I have hesitation on, all of the self-doubt and the questioning, like whenever I go to do something, if I'm like hesitating, that drains me. And I didn't realize that. I thought that I was somehow saving my energy or protecting myself. And me personally, how I experience the flow of energy in my life, any kind of resistance, any kind of hesitation is actually draining me. I'm draining myself. Because it takes more effort for me to hesitate. I realized through all of this that I am bright, I'm shining, I need to, I'm like an expressive human, but I shut all that off because of the feelings that I got as a child, where I didn't have the choice. I just started trying to protect myself. I just started being quieter. I just started not looking at people, like avoiding for protection. I just made myself smaller and smaller and smaller until no one would look at me. And then like, so from like middle school up to like 8th grade, or like elementary up to 8th grade, I was like made fun of. I was like nerdy, like overweight, different things. So like I didn't really get attention. And then 8th grade, I started to lose weight. I started to dye my hair blonde and like straighten it. It's already like dirty blonde, but it was like brighter. It was kind of like I just assimilated to what I saw in the magazines of like what I kind of thought that I existed for men. So that's a whole other thing, is like, as I'm reading these magazines of like what I should look like, how I should act, it's like all based in the perspective of for men. So I got the idea that like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do as a woman, is like try to attract a male. Little did I know I was gay. Like, I probably would have figured that out a lot sooner if I didn't like have all these insecurities that made me try to assimilate and made me scared. Like, I was equally as scared of men as I thought like that was what I was here to do, was to attract men. And so after 8th grade, when I started like losing weight and stuff, people gave me more attention, and I've never really liked that. I've never really enjoyed attention. I've never liked speaking in front of people. And I think it's because that whole energy thing, I felt such an intense wave of energy that I was just like, I don't know how to process this. I have no one to talk to about this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I feel this maybe, and maybe other people don't. And it was just like when I would stand in front of a class, like to give a speech, like it would just be like a wave of energy, and I would just feel it through my whole body. I would be like out of my body and feel just so nervous, and like everyone was staring at me, and it wasn't about the fact that everyone was looking at me, it was the physical feeling of their attention. So literally just insane, my journey through like not wanting attention but getting attention, and then getting more attention, and then like thinking that's what I was supposed to be doing, and then like doing things, dressing a certain way. Like I love research, so I would like do research on what to wear to look cute for men. Like I need a sip of coffee for that. And so this book really helped me in the grocery store to circle back, to put my energy and my focus outward. And what I know of that is that masculine and divine masculine, divine feminine, not male female. Divine masculine energy is penetrating or externalized, and divine feminine energy is receiving. And so I think that I was not in balance, so I was imbalanced because I was putting so much of my feminine focus on my feminine energy of retraction, of submission, of, and not that feminine is naturally submissive, but in receiving it can be a submissive act. And so I feel like I really like took my energy and I balanced something when I learned how to focus my energy out. Now, to tell you how I do that internally, I don't know how to tell you, but this is my experience, and I feel like if you play around with it and you are a person who feels energy, I feel like you will be able to resonate with this. It's kind of, I'm speaking to people who, like I said, I want to build a community of people who understand what I'm talking about, who want someone to talk about this with. Like I said, as I was a kid, I didn't have anyone to talk about this with. So even like, you know, if you're newly in college, like, and you feel like this, I don't know who I am, like feeling dissociative, feeling like just so out of your body that you can't be yourself, that's kind of who I'm speaking to. So I recommend this book. I'm sorry I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but I listened to the audiobook on Audible called UNBOUND, and the way that she describes the information as well, like I feel it. So go back to divine feminine, divine masculine. I feel very divine feminine in the sense of I have that powerful divine feminine energy in me as well, but I haven't known how to use it in natural, or not natural, societal, like daily life. It has not come naturally to me. It has come naturally to me to be the nice girl, the one that just is chill, and you know, whatever you want to do, I'm chill with it. Yeah, it's cool that I'm so chill, right? And I lost all of my own opinions and my power. And so I feel like I have that within me. And so the fact that she was coming from the perspective of a professional dominatrix, that resonated with something in me, because you have to have a certain level of feminine power to be in that position. And all the things she described were like non-sexual situations, which I thought that being a dominatrix was like about the sex, but I guess it's not. There was a little bit of a misconception there, but I think the reason that I really resonated is because I've thought about myself in these positions where, like, what if I could use my powerful divine feminine energy? That would probably be the scenario. Like, that would probably be the container that would allow that. And I've been able to experience that in some situations with like safe people where I've been able to be the dominant and they were the submissive, and where I was able to get my energy out. Like, I don't know if any of y'all resonate with this, but like so much of the day, like, and it doesn't have to be this way. This is what I'm realizing. So much of the day, I feel like I'm stopping myself from being a bitch, or stopping myself from saying what I wish I could say, and then thinking about it later, like, I wish I could have said this to that person, or like, I wish I could have just to a guy, or I wish I could have just all these things. And like, why am I stopping myself from doing that? And it's because societally we want to be cohesive, we want to work together. And so there are like these unwritten rules that we follow in society. Someone says, "Hi, how are you today?" "Hey, I'm well, how are you?" It's almost like a different voice that comes through me, because really what I want to say is, "Hey, I'm not really feeling like talking right now, thanks." Because sometimes I'm just not. Sometimes I just don't want to talk. And it's not because I want to avoid someone or like a situation, or it's not because I'm not friendly, or it's not because I don't want to entertain a cool story, or like I'm like trying to block an experience of like, you know, because sometimes you listen to people's stories and it's for you. Like, it's meant to teach you something, or it's meant to speak to your soul, or it's meant to give you some solace because they talk about something that you're going through, and then you have this connection. You need that in life. I'm not trying to avoid that, but sometimes I just don't want to talk. I just don't. And like, I wish that I could just honor that, and I will from now on, but like, it's a hard thing because societally there are expectations that you interact. So even stuff like that, I did not feel like I could protect my energy. I felt like if someone said hi and I didn't want to say hi, I had to say hi and then let them drain my energy. Like, especially in a work environment, especially like I've been in a lot of customer service, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that, especially right now, especially anymore in this new age of Aquarius. We do not have to do that. We don't. We can be honest with each other, and we can say, "Hey, I'm not feeling like talking right now," and the other person doesn't have to be like and put out this fucking "they're a bitch" energy, because that's not being a bitch. That's not being a bitch. I really thought that just me denying someone some interaction was being a bitch. Now, when it comes to things like talking to anyone who's hitting on you and you don't want to be hit on, for example, in the book she talks about answering questions with questions, because then you are not allowing the energy to be focused on you. You're focusing the energy back on them, and that's where it should be. They're asking the question, or they want the attention, or whatever have you. They ask you, "Hey, what's your name?" Like, it's so obligatory. Like, it's like, I have to tell you my name now. Like, sometimes I make up a name because I'm like, I don't want you to know my name. You know my face already, so you're gonna Google me and it's gonna pop right up. Like, no thank you. So, what's your name? Simple as that. It doesn't have to be something clever. It doesn't have to be something that like you have prepared. It can be, "Where'd you get that tie?" That's the one that she uses in the book. She says it doesn't have to be anything in particular. So that was a relief when I was like listening to the audiobook and thought about that, because my brain sometimes, when I'm in interaction I don't want to be in an interaction I don't want to be in, my brain will freeze. It's like that freeze response. That's like also a habit. Let me take another sip of coffee. So in my freeze response, I don't have to have my brain on. I only have to focus the energy back on the other person. And if they don't leave me alone, guess what? I also have the full right to walk away. The sun is coming out more. I love the sun. That's one energy that I can always receive from. The sun fills me up. I'm so grateful for the sun. And I've learned my balance too of like, I used to be more of a beach baby, like more of a summer girl. And now I'm like the mountains and the moon and the cold weather and just the whole spectrum. I'm in love with the whole spectrum now, rather than pointing out one or the other and being like, oh yeah, I'm totally just this one aspect of me. It's like, as I've realized more aspects of me, I've realized more aspects that I appreciate about the world. But yeah, asking a question to a question, that was one of the key things that I took away from that book. And you really have to read it and do the exercises in order to fully feel what I'm saying. But there was an exercise that I recorded on my phone, and it was the bad girl exercise. And it was like, if you could fully do whatever you wanted without consequence, what would you do? And like, it was like, you know, kind of speaking to all sides of yourself. And if you're like me, you don't feel one-dimensional. You feel like there are so many sides of you that almost like you'd have to take a while to sit there and write each of them down, because then there are also aspects of each version of me that are either multidimensional within themselves or past versions of myself that have grown into something else now. So I feel very multidimensional as far as my personality. And so I got to speak to, I had a call. I got to speak from actually all the different sides of me. Like, what would this side of me do? What would this side of me do? And especially the one that wants to go out in society and just like, I would play my music, my swearing sex music, all the time. Like if I just want to be walking down the street like to Missy Elliott, I would do that. Like, I would blare my music. That is one thing that I wish I could do. And it's not the same in my headphones. I want to be able to radiate my energy. It's almost like when I put the headphones in, I know that I need to like stay in here, and I can't like dance because like, first of all, no one else can hear what I'm listening to. They don't know why I'm making this little jig, which doesn't matter, but like things that go through my head. And also I know I have to be appropriate in society. So that was what it was. My version of myself that doesn't want to be appropriate. I have heard that so many times in my life that is one of my least favorite words. That's one of my least favorite phrases to ever fucking tell someone. Be more appropriate. And I'm not discounting the fact that there are certain situations that you have to, I would say, bring out a certain aspect of yourself that is respectful in a certain situation. I am not discounting that. But I'm also saying that there's a part of me that wants to bleh, because I have been told so many times that I am inappropriate, that I look inappropriate, that I'm dancing inappropriately, that I'm speaking inappropriately, I'm speaking out of turn, I'm talking about something that I shouldn't be talking about. Like, it really fires me up, because it's just not okay to tell someone that they're being inappropriate. Like, so that version of me was especially nice to be able to let out and to speak what I would do if I could do anything. And a lot of the time too, these aspects of myself aren't just trying to express, they're also trying to give back. Like, I would steal diapers and toilet paper and like pass them out to people on the streets. Like, I would get someone up in a hotel, like a homeless person. Like, I also want to help. So I know that that is a deep-seated thing within me, just about myself. Like, I, like, in a way, you could say, like, Robin Hood, like, steal from the rich, give to the poor, because I do see the imbalance there, and I wish that I could balance that in my own, like, in my own accord, in my own way. And not that some people need to be taken from, and some people need to only be given to, but I think that I can feel the imbalance. I can feel when someone runs out of the grocery store, this is a real experience, with diapers and toilet paper, and, you know, the security guard goes, like, chasing them for a certain amount of time, but then, like, lets them go. Like, I would not be able to work at a grocery store where they told me I had to chase someone out, because if you are stealing something, I'm sorry, but you need it more than the next person that's going to pay for it. That should be a margin that is just, like, calculated in for the business. I'm just saying, like, people don't just steal, and, like, some people do. So that's what I'm saying. There's a balance. It's not all one way and then the other way. It's not black and white. Nothing is. But if I could help people, there are all aspects of myself would help people in each of those scenarios, as I'm expressing, as I'm blaring my music and walking down the street and dancing sexy and twerking on things and literally just, like, doing whatever the fuck I want to do, letting my titties out. What a concept. Hot day, not even a hot day, maybe, like, it's a nice breeze outside and you want to take your fucking top off. That'd be one of the things I would do that's inappropriate. Oh, it's inappropriate. Makes me so fucking annoyed. But anyway, this video is 27 minutes, and so I'm gonna here and just let you know that my next video, I hope to give more information, more value to your life. I hope to connect with you and be able to have, like, an authentic, expressive moment with you in a message or in the comments. Let me know how this video made you feel, and if you resonated with it, if you got the audiobook after I talked about it. And yeah, I just hope to connect with you and express with you in the future. So, cheers, good morning, good peaceful morning. This is also my favorite artist, Alexis Raccoon. She is on Instagram. It's ALEXISRAKUN. So she is amazing. All of her art I resonate deeply with. I want to share artists. If you know of an artist that I might like, definitely let me know. I will share music, art, anything, dance. Maybe my next video will be a dance video. Just like some ecstatic stuff, because I have been feeling like I need to get some energy out. So we will see you on the other video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for existing.